We about to make some smoked turkey gumbo. Alright, first things first, get you some regular oil. I'm using peanut. Do not use olive oil here. Use olive oil, it's gonna taste real nasty. You need something that can withstand the heat. So a lot of people like grapeseed, peanut, canola, vegetable, any of those would be good options. Okay. Next to the oil, we're gonna add all-purpose flour because you got to make a roux. So I'm gonna put about a cup. That was 3/4 cup. Put about a cup and a half. Okay. Just mixing it up this roux. This is what it's gonna look like at first. I want a nice, good steel pot or a Dutch oven. So basically, and if it looks a little too stiff for you, because the stiffer it is, easier it's gonna burn. Just add a little more oil. All right. Starting to get into the peanut butter stage. So be very careful. You get some of this on your skin, you're gonna cry like a little baby. I don't want to hear about all these haters anyway out there. Because this is that Korean American from the suburbs of Virginia gumbo. Alright, you understand how dark that's getting? So one of the things about when you darken a roux this much, it loses its thickening power, just FYI. Anyway, soup, stew, depending on certain folks like it thicker and some people like it a little more watery. That's about what we want. So we got the Holy Trinity. About a cup and a half of onions, about a cup of celery, and I don't know, 3/4 of a cup of bell pepper. I use red. I like it because it's sweet. Switch over to a spoon here. So now we're gonna cook the Trinity in this roux. Going to release a lot of water. You're going to hear a lot of popping. Okay. I'm going to throw in a couple bay leaves. Okay. And you see how dark that is? That's basically the color of the stock. Alright, so you want to put about 2 quarts of stock in here. I'm using bouillon. Actually, it's more of a chicken base, better than bouillon in a cup. You can buy a box, or you can make your own homemade. I got a lot of friends that do that, but we ain't got all that time here in Virginia. Suburbs, people gotta work. So one of these mason jars is 4 cups. Busted the whisk back out so we can get a nice smooth. We don't want no lumps. All right. And anyway, 2 quarts, 8 cups. I'm gonna use water like I told you. Because I'm gonna add some bouillon. This is what I'm using. You can use bouillon cube. You can make homemade box stock, whatever. Few cloves of garlic. You use powder. You can use fresh, whatever you want. I'm gonna use about 5 cloves, not too large, of garlic. Okay. Remember, this is a stew. It don't have to be perfect. It's not fine dining. This is home cooking. But I wouldn't leave a half a clove of garlic either, you know, you somewhat want it. Alright, so you guys see, basically I already added my bouillon. If I think it needs more flavor, I'll just add it. So this is a smoked turkey gumbo, so I got 2 nice legs here. You buy at the supermarket, these ones are real nice. Big old daddies. You just want to drop them things right up in there. This is going to take the longest to cook. And we're just gonna simmer this down. So next what we're gonna use, I got some Tony's. It's real salty, so you gotta be careful. Here's some Conecuh sausage. This is Alabama sausage, my buddy's favorite. I actually prefer andouille, but it's really hard to find it in Virginia. And so I got one Cajun and one original. This is smoked sausage. Pretty good flavor. I really like the andouille myself. But I'm gonna use half of this and half of this, and then I'm gonna freeze the rest for another meal. I like to cut them on a slight bias. I think it looks nicer that way. I don't like to cut them too thin either. You cut them too thin, they look like hot dogs or something. So leave them halfway decent size so they can hold up to the long cooking process. Now this I'm not going to put in there for probably another 2 more hours because the turkey takes a while to cook. Alright, this is what it's looking like. It hasn't even started to begun. It's going to take about 3 hours, 4 hours to make this gumbo. Like I said, these turkey bones will end up falling off the bone and give it a real nice smoky flavor. And I like Tabasco, but I ran out, so any old cheap old hot sauce will work. I'm using from Texas. That's all out. And I got some little Frank's. So just a little vinegar, little spice in there. And Worcestershire. Some Worcestershire in there. Yep. And you just let that simmer. Little pepper. And you want to salt it, but like I said, if you're using bouillon, you really want to taste it before you over salt it. So, all right, stay tuned. So, start coming to a boil. You're going to see all these albumin and all this crap, nasty scum floating over the top. You don't want to just go ahead and get that out of there. It's also going to come to a point where that roux is going to snap. That roux with all that oil, you're like, there's 3/4 of a cup of oil in there, and eventually it's going to snap. When I mean snap, it's going to break away. See, and the fat's going to start leaching from that turkey. So you're going to get oil from your roux and also the fat from your turkey. I recommend to spoon that off. Some people says it's flavor. I don't like going having grease all up in my stuff. So you might lose an onion here or there. It'll be all right. No one's gonna starve. So about an hour in, go ahead and throw this in there. Sausage. That's my little skimmer dish. Okay. Getting real nice. Thick. But like I told you, these ain't soft yet. It's gonna be a while. These are not soft. We're gonna let this cook down, simmer it. And at this point we're in simmer mode. You just simmer it with a cover on it if you want, or cracked lid. Simmering away. Check this out, it's cooking, simmering. This is gonna take, like I told you, about 4 hours to shred. So this is just set it and forget it mode. Probably got another hour and a half to go in there. And while that's happening, we're gonna go ahead and get the rice going. You need some long grain rice. This is a 1.5 cups long grain rice, okay? Don't use jasmine, don't use calrose, none of that other stuff. Long grain, okay? All right, 2-to-1 ratio, you should know that. A lot of people have problems with making rice. So right here, I got double the amount of water as I do rice. So how I make my rice, I'm about to show you, is that I'm gonna bring this to a boil, and then I'm gonna add this rice in there. So right now, I'll just go ahead and add, you can use oil. You know what, I'll put a little bit of olive in there. Not too much. And then I'm gonna put a pinch of salt. Because it's gonna have a lot of flavor coming from the gumbo. All right, so now, we ain't got enough time. What we're gonna do here, we got some of these nice spring onions. And I'm just gonna slice these up real nice. I don't like these big ones like that. Anyway, I like the greens in this. Some people like whites and greens. This is gonna be going on top of it when it's completely finished. This is what I do. This is a surefire way not to mess up your rice. Okay? This will be the only time you're going to stir it until the end. Stir it up. So now what I usually do is I'm going to turn this thing down to about medium low actually. I'm not going to put the lid on it. I'm going to cook it until all the water is almost boiled out. And I'll show you what it looks like in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. All right, 20 minutes has passed. That's the rice. So, perfect rice. It's not sticky. All right, took the turkey legs out. Took about 4 hours. They're real hot. You just pull it, shred the meat. There's these little pieces of bone that you're gonna want to get out, like that. But anyway, you just shred this meat and you put it back in there. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so you get all these bones out. It looks something like this. Okay. Now we're just gonna add this back to the gumbo. All right, that's what it looks like. It's pretty much done. Now, if you're gonna add shrimp, unless you're gonna serve a whole bunch of people and they're gonna eat all this tonight, I recommend cooking the shrimp on the side and just add it to it, because whenever you reheat it, it's gonna be all kind of funky, and then the shrimp will be overcooked and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook some shrimp on the side, and then we'll plate up. All right, so heat up a pan with a little bit of olive oil. I like to use olive oil and butter. This is just, we're just gonna cook these shrimp. What I did was I took some shrimp and I butterflied them, took the tails off so they cook faster. And once this pan gets hot, we're just gonna cook them. Ain't nothing crazy. I just put some blackening season. I put Tony Chachere's. Let me just put them in there. Just let those cook. And whenever they're done, put them on the individual plates. That way it doesn't funk up my whole gumbo. All right, you got to put the gumbo down. Get a pretty good helping of sausage and everything. This will be Brooks, so she'll get some shrimp. Four. Okay, rice is done. Bradley, grab me the green onions. Okay. You just put a little bit of this in there. Okay. We're gonna wipe those edges. Okay. And for the final, some green onion. There you go. Smoked turkey, sausage, gumbo. All right, man. So what do you think?
It's good.
Yeah, let me see. It's real hot. Been cooking for like 4 hours. What you think, Brookie Wookie? All right, cool.